baby, baby, oh yeah. Let me get that out the way. Sorry, how's everybody doing this evening? This is the Doug Rice Show. How you doing? This is going to be new. This is going to be a first. This is going to be interesting. What I am doing is making up for the show that I had earlier today. As I understand it, I had some serious audio problems. So what I've done is I've set up kind of a Twitch kind of thing, while also wanting to give you guys an opportunity to kind of delve into what I do as a hobby, or what I do for fun, which is gaming. I also delve in selling mobile games as well. Now, the wealth in this country is hidden from so many Negroes, so many woke Negroes. Now, I know the lighting is not the best, but the feature here is going to be the flight. So everybody kind of focus on I am Doug Rice. Welcome. That's myself and my wife in the pilot seat, and it is a citation CJ4, cruising speed of 451 max, altitude 45,000 feet, unlimited fuel, unlimited range, and it's a clear day, 10:22 in the morning. We're just flying over Middle America. But we're going to talk a little bit as we do. Now, first, I know this is not the normal format. See me flying around in a Cessna, but this does go on Twitch, so why not give it a shot? So here we go. Let's see what happens as we are ready to fly. Now, I've got this in this mode, and the mode is a camera mode. So there are several modes that you can enjoy with this program. One is where the camera just follows the plane, and like this, but you can maneuver the camera around the plane as it flies. I can also let the plane fly off, and then I can actually keep up with the plane if I want to. Now up here, if you guys see, the camera allows me to do some changes, and there's just a few changes that I like to do, which I like to max the drone speed. Now I'm a consummate droner. I love to drone on and on and on, but I also like to fly drones, and I've had a few in my life, and I do enjoy it. This does allow me now to kind of keep up with the plane. I can get in front of it. I can go faster than the plane and watch it fly past me. See? And then keep up with it again if I so choose. So below us is America, okay? And I can get down there pretty fast. As you guys can see, my elevation is not too high, and I can just kind of keep up, and I can stop and keep up with the plane as I so choose. Now, I was telling you folks that in this country, that all over this country, peppered all over this country, there is hidden wealth. There is land ownership. There are folks that are holding on to wealth that you would not imagine. Now, I can get the map up here to kind of tell you where I'm at, but fact of the matter is, I am pretty much in anywhere USA. I am in the middle of the United States, just kind of flying. Okay. And like I say, like dead center middle. So you can think of Wyoming, North Dakota, real large land masses. I'm not going to give the discriminant where I'm at specifically because I'm not trying to pick on any particular place. I'm just trying to point out the amount of wealth that is hidden in this country from everyone, but specifically from Negroes who helped build this country, and that's kind of what I talked about. So now, as I said, this is a no brainer. Um, I mean, anybody can kind of see. Let me make sure here. Whoops! Anybody can kind of see. Let me reset. Let me get back to where the plane's at. Okay, so there's a plane. So we're following the we're following the plane. Now we're going to let the plane go on about its business. All right? I'm even going to just pause it. Boom. Plane's up there somewhere. Take the drone speed back up. Rotation speed back up. Again, this is going on Twitch, so everybody don't get too upset that this isn't following the normal format. And here we go. So, here we go. Now, some of you may recognize some of the places, but I got to say, if I fly low-level flights, what you'll find is hidden. Just look with me here. Here's a little spot here. One has to assume they own this entire parcel. But let's continue. Because this is endless. This is middle America. I'm not even going to talk about towns. I'm just going to go out to where we know there's a hidden house, a hidden something. And you're going to ask yourself, well, why is that there? Why is something where it shouldn't be? How about that? That's really where I'm at here. Again, this is just kind of a makeup session for today's loss, but it is an interesting, I think, a very interesting look at all the pockets of land ownership peppered and have been held generationally. Here's a good example here. You know, you can imagine how much of this is owned by that one homed area out there, that one homestead area. I'm going to go up here a little bit. Hope everybody's doing well. Again, today's show was a wash. I understand that one of the things that happens when I switch from one place to the other, from one screen to another, I cut out dramatically. And so I deleted the show earlier and thought, I better do something. So I set this up a little bit and decided to see if I could make a point. We'll see what happens. It's just it's just a show. It's not that big a deal. Here we gotta, you gotta ask yourself, what's this out here? How is this so removed from everything? From everything, and in every direction you go, in Middle America, you'll find setups similar to this, where in the middle of nowhere, there is, you can see a developed area, something that's out of the beaten path away, and we know that that's kind of the plan. That's the American dream. Everybody gets land, goes far, far away from anywhere else, and sets their own little utopia. I'm not attacking that dream. I'm saying that it has happened for so many that are not us, as we know. But the extent with which the wealth is hidden, the amount of wealth and the amount of holdings, it's the hiding part that's so dramatic to me. And so if you look out, and again, I don't know that this was their intent, to kind of expose the fact that peppered throughout the country, there are homes on vast acreage set aside, more likely generationally, out of sight and out of minds of anybody who might be, inclined to ask some questions. I'm one of those individuals. Um, and it's remarkable, if you want to use a term, it really is remarkable because these are spots where no one should really be. But if you look, you'll see there's a home where, my God, why would a house be out? And not that you're not asking why is a house out here. You're asking more, why is it so far out here and so a part of what seems to be personal property? That look at that. Where is the nearest town to something that's right here? And I've seen airfields out here, peppered out here throughout this country, throughout specifically this country. Europe and other countries are built totally different, but here, in this country, you got to ask yourself. We are far and away, and I made sure to pick in the middle of the country, far away from any urban areas where Negroes, where former slaves, and anyone that is not a Caucasian, a European relocator from Europe with whatever brought over here, bought while they were over here generationally, and have been able to tuck away spots that have to be kind of self-sustaining. So Microsoft Flight has given me an insight that I'm now sharing with you, in that all over this country, I'm just trying to make sure we they're peppered everywhere. Um, Large acreage, and I don't mean the kind of acreage that an acre here, 2 acres, 4 acres, 5 acres. I mean hundreds and hundreds of acres, thousands of acres, more likely generationally passed down, where because where they have it, it's intentional. Here's a perfect example. Look at this. So look at this home. There's two of them here. There's two of them here. Now let's look at that. Obviously, these homes own these lots. Here's another one. Look at this one, folks. And they look at this. Now, what you're asking yourself is, you're looking at that house and you're looking all over the place. And if you think that this town somehow sustains the kind of wealth that needs to be applied to living on acreage, this is just a town, that Caney. I suppose this is Caney, but Caney doesn't look, like a metropolis. Caney looks like just a town where people have settled. But I'm talking about these large areas here. I'm talking about, look at this here. This strikes me as a bit odd. I don't know. And for God's sake, of course, if you can do it, do it. But it's the amount of homes that are set in the middle of nowhere. And I don't think it should escape anyone's notice that it's these places like Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, that don't have many people in them. But what they do have is that they have wealthy people that can afford to put one home. And I'm gonna say that if this person just owns just what's developed, that single, again, where is this? This is nowhere America. And again, folks, it starts getting real noticeable once you begin to see it. Once you begin to see the homes, and this program makes it real easy for you to fly down real quick and do an investigation. Now, it's not a true to life representation of what might be on the property, but it's the fact that on all of the properties, as you just keep going, They're just houses. Houses. Just houses. And I'm like, well, who lives here? Who would live here? Who's and it goes on. Look at this. Who lives here? Well, I mean that's interesting. Who lives right here? Nice little house, a lot of property. We can just keep going. If you know when you notice it, you'll notice it. And what I'm saying is, brothers and sisters, is that it's every direction in this country, in every direction, parcels of land that have been divvied up in large, and I do mean extremely large measure. And you'll find the homes that stead the land. That's homesteading. You'll find the homes that stead the land. You know, out here, this home out here in the middle of nowhere, Independence. So we're probably again, middle America. And again, if you've just tuned in, I'm going to be here for a minute because I like doing this. This is kind of the pastime when I do game, and I got an Xbox. And one of the things I've noticed is this is the wealth that's been hidden from Black Americans, from Negroes, and here's the thing. This is a good example. Just one of many. Look at the pattern, folks. And it goes on for as long as the eye can see. Any direction. This happened in the early 1800s. For those of you that have seen the movie Far and Away, a lot of these folks, and Martin Luther King talked about homesteading and the fact that this opportunity was offered to the folks here as a way of spreading out and populating the United States. Well, they took it to heart, and it's a plan to keep inner cities the way inner cities are kept, to keep urban cities the way urban cities are kept, because what it does is it stops thinking individuals from delving out into areas like this, where you suddenly are just coming on. And again, it's pretty impressive. It's impressive. Look at this. Long driveway into homes, and I would assume that's all theirs, right? But it doesn't stop. Here's another one. I'm not talking. This is not. To me, this kind of signifies deception. I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at this, and for as long as you can see, now this one seems to be blacked out or moved, or maybe that's their own lake. Again, top side view, long as the eye can see. And again, this is middle America. I could have dropped in the middle of Wyoming. I could have dropped in the middle of North Dakota. I could have dropped in Ohio. I could have dropped in Washington State, Oregon, Missouri, all the states where there are low populations, but each of these states have the same equal number of senators. So this democracy that they are so proud of has given the most uneven kind of wealth distribution that you can imagine. And when they talk about wealth is land ownership. And this kind of land ownership, and it's so common in the middle of this country, this is the kind of land ownership. Somebody, more likely, the person that owns these homes owns that entire parcel of land. Every bit that you see that's developed is owned. And I'm just going to keep flying, and you'll see, look at this. There's the home in a nice little wooded area, but rest assured that more likely they own that square. This is what I'm talking about. Now, again, we're in captivity. We're enslaved. We're in captivity. We've not been released. Our exodus has not come. But I think about Brother Yakoba and Teu, and we talk about the wealth that other folks that are pointing it out, and we have to leave. We got to get out of here. They're never going to correct this. They're never going to correct this. And again, you would think these are all underdeveloped areas. You would think nobody's out here living. Now I'm leaving these towns and I'm coming into these places like this. Look at this. Now, again, not a perfect representation, but you can best believe that whoever owns that more likely owns that entire parcel. And all I got to do is keep going. Look at this. Who lives here? Folks, Hebrews, fellow progeny of the transatlantic slave trade. In order for them, we talk about reparations. They talk about reparations, and they're talking about giving Negroes reparations now. They're talking about it. They're talking about it. But what the fuck are they really talking about? How are you going to make up for these circumstances? I will show you again. You see the house, right? There's the house. The house owns that. There's his neighbor over here. There's the house. There it is. Nice house. Nice, huh? You do know that house is attached to that land. Yeah. So when you talk about reparations, whatever number that they've got in mind to give us, more likely it needs to be times 1,000. When you look at what's been kept, again, it's gonna hit you. You're gonna notice it. Again, look at this. This ain't rocket science. Here's the house. More likely, every bit of the land that's developed is theirs. This ridged little area over up top there is theirs. And look at their neighbor. Look at their neighbor. Their neighbor is not living on the land on the land that the build is on. Their neighbor is living on the square. Do you understand what I'm getting at? And this, as I've said, brothers and sisters, is everywhere in this country. There's no place I can drop in anywhere in the United States and find this, and globally as well. But I only say this because this is supposed to be an all-inclusive country. And what I'm finding is they took their holdings and they did the whole far and away deal, and they built their homes way out here in the middle of nowhere. And look how far up I can go. And as I go up, you can see where I'm not near any major metropolises. I'm so far away from anybody. We're in the middle of nowhere. But isn't it interesting, as I zoom in, I'll look at little nondescript areas because my drone goes super fast, right? Here's little spots just kind of catch my eye, and I go, well, my goodness, I came from nearly nowhere, but look at this. Wow. Isn't that interesting? Who lives here? What's this doing here? It's in the middle of nowhere. There's nobody. And you would think, no neighbors. No, they got neighbors. And then it starts hitting you. They really got neighbors. They do not want to share. There is no reason that we need to stay here. There's more than enough that they could literally be overly generous and still have enough. More than enough. But all of this breathing room scenario, this is what this is about. This is why I say we're talking about folks of Germanic descent, because this is breathing room. You know, the natives that they have on reservations talked about them doing this. And what they've done is they've gone throughout this entire country and they've done exactly this. They've gotten more than any individual needs and they've hidden it. I like this. This is very interesting. So, this is basically what I wanted to kind of do. I wanted to show you, what, in my opinion, kind of contributes to our circumstances, the protection of this circumstance, the protection of individuals who sit fat, happy, you know, they don't want this circumstance to change. I mean, you can believe that there are brothers and sisters who absolutely are out peppered amongst the crowd of folks that own all the things that you can easily look at now. But far and few between, and more likely, they have an attitude that wants to protect this, and okay, can you blame them? I don't know. Can you? I don't know. Here we go. What's this? What's this? Who? Where? What do you? Oh, okay. So obviously, that's all you. Cool. I'm good with that. I'm good with that. All right. So that's kind of what I was doing. I can at this point look at chat. How's racism in those areas? Oregon's racism is hard. Oh my God, this Marcus. Thanks for commenting. How you doing? Um, it's not about really racism as much as it is about placism. Um, for me, this is an eye opener because I think about who lives out here. And again, I know where we congregated when we got off the plantation and had to get out of the South. We went to Detroit, we went to Philly, we went to all these places. Some of us stayed in the South, but none of us were invited to go west. No one said go west, young man, to Negroes. And most of us that went west met our end out here. But for those that could go west and did go west, you know, this is the power that we see protecting this kind of the wealth in the Senate and in the countries of this country. This is why they're losing their minds. They are absolutely terrified that anyone will put this together, that anyone will be able to go, hey, what is this out here? Why this seems out of place that this should be in the middle of goddamn nowhere. Why and you wouldn't know. Look how high up you can go. And in any direction. You wouldn't know. There are no major cities and there's nothing out here. And that, my friends, is what most intrigues me. It's not about racism. I don't care that they're out here. I'm more concerned with, how this disparagement of uninclusive placism occurred. It's really interesting. It's really you see what they're fighting to keep, and they're going to probably lose big. So that's where I'm at. I thought I would first apologize about today's show, and for anybody that stood and decided to listen and was not able to get the full impact of what I was saying, I do apologize for that. Thought I'd showcase what I do, and I invite everyone to just kind of think hard about what it is we're talking about here. When I look at this, here's one right here. I fly over this and I go, okay, You're just out here. But it would be different if I didn't know that more likely he owns that whole thing without a problem. And the reason you know is because of the placement. The placement tells you, if they're in the corner, more likely they own the whole thing, the whole block. Wow. Very nice. Must be cool. I like that. That's why they're arming themselves to the teeth. They're arming themselves to the teeth, and they're out here in the middle of nowhere, and they're scared on all their property. I mean, this is all him right here, and he will take people to task in trying to protect it. Here's another one. This is what I find. What is this? I mean, why? How can you be out here? So, thank you for tuning in. I haven't been on for about 30 minutes or so. Today's topics were pretty good. The major minority, the whole deal. I'm not going to go over it and fly. But I do welcome as many folks that want to share. And here you go. Look at that. That's interesting. When you go up high and you just start flying, you see the sectioned off, squared off stuff, and you see a little dot in the corner. That's what interests me. Lewisburg. I don't know about Lewisburg, but I know about this little interesting little tidbit. What's this? Well, isn't that a little nice little thing you got right there, huh? This all you? Oh, hell yeah, this is all you right here, huh? You got that line demarked real good, huh? You put your home right here in a little corner. Boy, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Whoa, buddy, what you doing? Same shit, huh? Boy, I tell you what. Well, thanks for tuning in to Doug Rice Show. I do appreciate it. I'm just having a ball, flying around, doing the deal. Yes, sirree, Bob. I might delete this one. I don't know, but I just wanted to do this one. That's all. Look at that, boy. Oh, now. Yeah, I know you're fat and pretty, huh? Fat and pretty. All right. You guys have a good one. Thanks, Marcus, for tuning in. Again, I encourage everybody to get this program, to do some investigating on your own and drop anywhere in the United Snakes of America, anywhere in Middle America, drop anywhere we are not. That's what I challenge you to do. Drop anywhere to see where we aren't, and this is what you will find. Again, the only thing that I'm saying is how did it come about? And again, this is not well known. Just everywhere you want to be. Look at this one here. What? Last thing they want is anybody looking up their skirts. Let me tell you. For you to have all this out here, the last thing you really want is anybody to come on your property. He put that one in the middle. You see that? See? All that's his. Look at that, folks. All that's his right there. That's his right there. Oh, yeah. You don't want nobody snooping on that property. Hell no. And again, this is every direction. Can't find anywhere that's not put it. Are you live on TikTok? No, I gave up on TikTok. I had so many followers. Plus, I'm not doing it for followers. I'm doing it just because I like doing it. I don't. I realize that trying to do this for ego is probably just not the way to go. So I just do this, having a ball. Trying my best to get the word out. How do they get their food, huh, Marcus? How do they get their food? You're going to find, Marcus, that most of them have airstrips. Most of them will probably get their food delivered. I see now why Amazon is working so hard to develop drone delivery. I mean, they've got a waiting customer base peppered as far as the eye can see. You see that? You see how far? I mean, look at that. And you see now, you recognize little inlet roads off squares. That's what you're looking for. Inlet roads off squares. And as far as the eye can see, as I'm getting out here, you notice I'm not near any developed areas. But for some reason, all I gotta do is come in. Boom. What you doing? How can you be out here? How can you be out here? There's nothing out here. You can perish out here. But you know, some have little islands out here. Amazing, isn't it? You know, again, Marcus, I hope the few minutes that I've taken to show this to brothers and sisters kind of expresses. Maybe I'll leave this one up so that you see that I'm not lying. I'm not lying. To get out here is a task. Nice houses. They may not be completely descriptive of what's actually out here, but what I'm saying is look how all of the setups are. All of the setups seem the same. Look at that. Now, if you don't think that man, look at what he owns. You can tell what he owns. He owns that. He owns that. And that's a fact. He owns that. And this one over here, more likely, they own that. And so on, and endless. Endless. As long you can fly forever. I've done it for hours. I've never run out of stuff to look at. Here's another one. You got to ask yourself, sir, you know that whatever's out here, whatever's out there, he can stock up to take care of that, because that's him right there. That's him. I've seen some nice setups. I've seen some nice setups, man. And it's an insult. It's an insult. To me, it's not an insult in that they have it. It's an insult in that, you know, they've made real certain that Negroes will never have this. Prophetically, absolutely never to have. But the sinister nature of the hide is my problem. And the fact that it's so prevalent, it's endless. It's endless. The 1800s did their job. They came out and they staked their claim, and it's almost never that I run out of houses that I find in the middle of nowhere. Almost never. Look at this. To know for a fact that the road comes from here to get him here lets me know he ain't got nothing to do with over here. See, look at this. You see this one? This one lets you know what's his. Look at that. Look at that. He has no problem. He got 2 houses. He got a lake. And all this is his right here, bro. All that is his. And the shit just keeps going, baby. Look at this. Look at this. Now we're getting somewhere. Look at this. Marcus, look at this. All that. Yeah, buddy. All right. So thank everybody for taking a look. Appreciate it. This really wasn't a show as much as it was a show. As you can see, I'm not lying. These folks, let them keep it. Let them keep it. Can you imagine the whole country, this whole place is going to be uninhabitable? So don't envy. I'm not envy. Don't envy. But take note that this is what they've done. This is what they have done. They have made sure that they get theirs. They've made absolutely sure in every respect that they get theirs. Yeah, it is crazy, isn't it? They don't want Negroes to know this. The last thing that they want Negroes to know is that they've got some of them set up like this. A lot more than they'll ever be comfortable with us knowing. They don't want us to know that they've got them out here set up in the middle of nowhere. What How can you be out here expected to live without sustenance? And look at the spreads, Marcus. They get big, man. They get big in the middle of nowhere. Look at them. Everywhere you see a white anything, that's a house. That's somebody's property. They've covered this country and taken it. But it's all going to be uninhabitable. It's all going to and other countries know that the United States, they live like this. I'm going to zoom in. Look, here we go. A little cluster out of the way. Look at this one. See? I see this, I come in immediately. I want to come in hard and fast and go, what's this? Ooh, you don't want nobody nosing around your business here, huh? Oh boy, last thing they want is you. Look at this. And I do the low flybys too, Marcus. I come across, here's one. What you doing here? What's this? Oh, look at that. Man. You don't want nobody to know about that, huh? All right, that's it. And we got no reparations. We got no reparations. None. But but we have so much to be grateful for because, we don't have to worry about, having to take care of all that shit. Maybe that's what they've relieved us of. All right, good Lord. Is it insulting? Now look here. Now look, see, I find this too sometimes. Now this is very disturbing. I don't know. We'll never know what this might be. This could be a food hub. This could be a food hub right here. This could be the hub that takes care of this whole place because God knows they need it. Because, if I live here, I know for a fact that I can't just run over to who takes care of these people if something happens? How do they get to an ambulance? How do they get someplace? Honestly. Honestly, who's going to take care of this person right here? They got a medical emergency. But look at them. Well, I don't know. Huh. Yeah, you know what their property line is, don't you? It's like this all over the country, y'all. I could do this for hours. I'm doing this for 46 minutes. I'm so sorry. But unless you can't believe it unless you fly over it and see for yourself. All right, I gotta go. You can see I'm online for 2 hours. I got it reminding me of that. You guys have a wonderful evening. Detrina will be back. It's another announcement I'm gonna make. Detrina has said that she's ready to come back, and I welcome her. My shows are better when I have some time to go. So, no hospitals. Yeah, and maybe we'll do this again. I don't know. I'm gonna ask you guys: should I keep this? Am I making the point, or is it too much, too long? Should I just delete it? I'll ask. Because for me, this is a very important point. When I say the generational wealth kept from the eyes of not just Negroes, but everyone who is not associated with the status quo, the powers that be, this is how they live. They can't imagine the city because who in the hell would? When you're doing this, I wouldn't really want to. Look, you certainly don't want nobody looking into your business, do you? Oh, no, 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 no. They definitely don't appreciate me over. And look, folks, it's the low flybys that get me the most. Because you'll just come across some shit. What? Look at that. What are you doing out here? Anyway, Yeah, you didn't know. I know. It's amazing. Didn't know, did you? I know. All right. Keep it or take it down. What do you think, Marcus? You help me with this. What do you think? Should I leave it up? I mean, this is Microsoft. They're the ones that are hipping me to this, and I'm just wanting brothers to know these folks got a problem. They got too much. They got too much, and they got too much of one thing and too little. Look at this. Look at this. You wouldn't know this was here. You would not know this is here. All right, folks. Far as the eye can see, and this is just a tiny portion of this country. This is nothing. This is nothing. All right. Well, I'm gone. You guys have a good night. It is late. Just thought I'd try this. Get that goddamn grin off your faces.